Go search n8n for a weather node. Nothing comes up. Search for a Yelp node, a Stripe node, whatever specific app you actually need for your business, and for most of them, you're going to get the exact same result, nothing. Or, and this is the entire point of today, you learn exactly one node and every single API on the entire internet turns into a node you built yourself on demand whenever you need it. That's a live call to a weather service that has zero official integration with the n8n. Same canvas you used yesterday, same drag and drop, about 30 seconds of setup. Yesterday I told you one specific skill is what separates people who just clone templates from the people who actually build things. This is that skill. 2 ideas today, the API and the webhook. And by the time we're done, there's no node for that, stops being a wall that stops you, and just becomes a slightly annoying inconvenience. Let's go. So a quick recap of yesterday. Summit's leads got captured, flagged, and routed fully automatically. Today we're going to teach that exact same system something it has absolutely no idea about right now. The weather, using a tool that doesn't have a single button anywhere inside n8n. Here's the first idea, an API. People make this sound complicated, and it genuinely isn't. Every single time your phone's weather app shows you a forecast, it isn't guessing. It is asking a weather company's computer one extremely specific question, phrased in one extremely specific format, and getting one extremely specific answer. That question and answer contract, the rules both sides agree to follow, that's an API. OpenWeatherMap's specific version of it works like this. You send city details, plus a key that proves you're actually allowed to ask, and you get back today's and tomorrow's forecast as raw structured data. That's genuinely the entire idea underneath all the jargon people wrap around it. Here's the second idea, and it's really just a flop side of the first one, a webhook. An API is n8n asking the question out loud of somebody else. A webhook is n8n handing out its own private phone number so something else there can call n8n first, the exact instant something happens. No refreshing a page every few minutes, no polling on a timer to check if anything's new. It rings when it rings, and not a second later. By the time we're finished today, Summit's system is going to do both of these things. Ask a question every single morning on its own, and answer a question the instant somebody else asks it. Today is day 2 of 30, and one new credential today, and only today, a completely free OpenWeatherMap API key. 30-second sign up, nothing to pay, ever, for this particular use. Let's get into build 1. Every single morning at 6 a.m. before Mike is even on his truck, we check tomorrow's forecast for Summit's service area. Let's schedule the trigger once a day, 6 in the morning, nothing complicated here. This one just wakes itself up on a timer and nobody else has to remember to touch it. Now the node that actually matters today, HTTP request. This single node is the one that turns into literally any API on the planet. The moment you understand its 3 ingredients, the URL you're asking, the parameters you're sending along with the ask, and the key that proves it's really you doing the asking. Let's add the URL, which is just OpenWeatherMap's forecast endpoint, the query parameters, which is the city's latitude and longitude, which you can find by going to any of these free sites. I'll leave one in this description. You just look up the city, take the latitude and longitude, and just input into those parameters. Let's set the units to imperial, because Mike does not think in Celsius, and neither does most of his customer base, and the API key pasted directly into the app ID field. Let's try running it. Look at that. Nobody at n8n built a special node for this. That's raw, live data coming straight from a company that has genuinely never heard of n8n and never heard of Summit either. Remember the suitcase belt from yesterday? This is a suitcase that just got dropped onto our belt from an entirely different airport, one we don't control at all. The same rules still apply though. It's still just JSON, still just an item. We simply have to open this particular one ourselves instead of someone handing it directly to us pre-labeled. The response we got back is broken into 3-hour chunks, stretching out 5 full days, way more than we actually need right now. So let's add a small code node. It filters down to just tomorrow's date and pulls out the single highest temperature in that window. 6 lines of code, and now we've got exactly one clean number, tomorrow's forecast high. Let's add the if node. Is tomorrow's high over 95 degrees? In Dallas, in the middle of summer, that's genuinely not rare. And for an HVAC company specifically, that's not just weather trivia, that's a real business signal. Air conditioners fail hardest exactly on the hottest days, which means tomorrow is quietly shaping up to be a heavier repair day before it's even started. Let's move to the true branch. A Slack message straight into the exact same leads channel we set up yesterday. Same credential, 0 new setup required, something like heat wave incoming, expect AC emergencies, repair leads get priority handling today. That's the exact channel Mike is already staring at all day long. Let's test it with tomorrow running hot, and the alert fires. That's build A, complete. n8n asking a question every single morning with absolutely no one lifting a finger. Build 1 asks a question on a fixed timer. Build 2 flips that entire idea around. It turns into Summit's own tiny API, one that anything on the internet can reach out and call. Let's add the webhook node. Method, post, path, Summit lead priority. The instant you save this node, n8n hands back 2 URLs, a test one and a production one, exactly the same pattern as yesterday's form. Anyone anywhere can send a request to that address, and n8n wakes itself up the moment it arrives. That, in one node, is the entire idea of a webhook. Copy paste that same HTTP request node straight over from build A. Steal from yourself, just as we did with the Slack card yesterday. Same weather call, which means whatever hits this webhook is going to get a priority decision that already knows whether a heat wave is coming. New code node here, pull the service type off whatever just got sent to us and check it against today's forecast. An emergency repair request is always scored emergency, full stop, weather or no weather. A regular repair quest that happens to land during a heat wave gets bumped up to high priority. Everything else just stays standard. This is genuinely the exact same lead priority logic from yesterday's workflow. We've simply taught it to check the weather first before deciding. Last node in the chain, respond to webhook. Whatever called us gets a real actual answer sent back. The priority level, and well under a second. This is n8n acting as its own tiny API. Summit's future website, a phone system, a completely separate workflow, even an entirely different business altogether. Anything on the internet that can send a web request can now ask, how urgent is this, and get back a genuine answer instantly. That's the whole trick behind connecting n8n to anything that isn't sitting in the official node list. An API is you asking a question, a webhook is something else asking you. Both builds today are free in the description, no email wall, exactly like yesterday. Your actual challenge: swap OpenWeatherMap out for a different free API, air quality, public holidays, currency exchange rates, whatever you happen to find, and make it genuinely change a real business decision, not just print a number onto a screen for decoration. Tell me which one you picked down in the comments. Tomorrow, we're going to get into what n8n actually costs you, cloud pricing versus running it entirely yourself, with real numbers including the costs the self-hosting crowd conveniently never mentions. Subscribe if this was useful, and I'll see you tomorrow.